Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are officially on video number 2. We're starting to get somewhere. So today's video is going to be my official Q&A video. I put posts out there on Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook for my friends to ask me questions that they wanted me to answer on my YouTube video. So without further ado, cut straight to the chase. The first question was something that I kind of answered on my first video, was what made me get started or what inspired me to start a YouTube channel. It was pretty much because I wanted to fill a void that I felt like was still not being filled. Not that, there's not enough Black women that are influencers, or not that there's not a plus size representation out there, but there's a good amount of representation that isn't there for the two together. And I know that, I now know that I have something else that I can bring to the table. So that was pretty much it. And then also too, a part of it is, for the person that asked this question, my little sister, encouraging her to start her YouTube channel, because I know she can do it. I know she wants to. She just loses her drive if stuff doesn't go exactly her way. And I can attest to that because we are all like that. But showing her that it can be done. I know she can do it. I mean, she got the stuff to do it. She's super creative. Right now, she's creating her own body scrubs and lip glosses and stuff like that. She definitely has the ambition. She just has to stay at it, stay consistent. How can I grow my hair all winter with no skills or hair routine? It kills me when people say they have no skills. It's like, you know how to do something. You know how to comb and brush your hair. You know how to do something. But in the wintertime, especially if you're anywhere cold, like in Wisconsin, it's moisture. Keeping your hair protected as far as like silk pillows, silk scarves. Even if you do like a bonnet and then put your hat on, just so the cotton isn't rubbing against your hair and drying it out. Because that's something that actually during the wintertime I have to be careful for, because I always wear my hair up. But I always wear these knitted scarves that my mom makes me. And so my neck always is rubbing right here on the scarf. And I always have to be mindful of making sure that I keep my hair wrapped until I get to where I'm going or anything like that, just so I can make sure I'm protecting my hair, because otherwise I'll forget, and then like all of my kitchen be out and I just be like, wow, did all this for nothing. But otherwise, like I said, moisture is going to be your friend. Finding a good moisture routine, probably doing more deep conditioning in the wintertime than you're probably used to. Even, and the other part of the question, without having a hair routine, you honestly just have to make one for yourself. You have to build a routine. It's something that is essentially required for your hair to flourish. Even if length and stuff isn't your main goal, if health is your goal, then you have to have some kind of hair care routine. Next question. I forgot I even wrote this down because my other sister asked, why are you so darn cute? I feel like that was more in reference of being childlike cute, because I don't look my age. I definitely always get that I look like a child. I mean, what can I say? My mother and my father together made me. I don't know. I don't know. I forgot I even wrote that down when she asked that question. Okay, so another one. How do you deal with frizz when you have locks? This is actually something that I can answer too, because I do my husband's hair. We are, for him too, starting to get back into the routine of doing his hair more often. But with locks, it's a part of maintaining it like you would a normal hairstyle. Like, I know most people, once they start to lock their hair up, especially guys, they kind of just let it go run wild and free and kind of don't do anything until they decide, oh, let me go get it retwisted. But And I've actually instilled this in my husband, and he's actually been really good with it too, because like back when he had a fade and stuff, and even when he had braids, he would have to use a do-rag or use something, pretty much taking one of my scarves, something like that, to tie his hair up, because that's the only way to maintain any hairstyle. You have to protect it. So even with having dreads, especially when you get it twisted, it's like, yes, tie your dreads up, because who want to sit and pay all this money to get it twisted just for it to be frizzy the next day because you forgot to tie it up? Like, and then of course, regular maintenance with oils and stuff like that. You have to oil. I mean, not necessarily oil, because oil is heavy for some scalps, but moisturizing your scalp, moisturizing your hair, because I mean, although you don't have to do much to it, you still have to maintain it because it is hair on your head and you want to keep it that way. You have to maintain the moisture, maintain, you know, the balance that keeps your hair growing. And like I said, protecting it. Like, that's probably two of the main things, outside of obviously getting your hair maintenance, you know, however you choose to do, so that it stays looking nice. The next question: how do I train my hair? Literally, the next video that I'm putting out is how I did this. My simple, highly requested video. Simply because people swear I'm doing some kind of magic to get these curls. And I will say, over the years, my curl pattern has changed. So I won't act like my hair ain't changed. But when I put it out there, y'all gonna see, I promise I don't do much. It is very simple. But maintaining my hair specifically will be my next video. So stay tuned next week. What are some tips you have for maintaining hair that has color in it, or coloring your hair in general? I, obviously coming from a cosmetology perspective, always caution people against doing it at home themselves, even for the simple fact that even if you feel like you have the skill set to do it yourself, you can't see everything. There's many times where, of course, because I'm licensed and I was trained to do certain things, there's certain things I know I can do myself at home. Although there are some times I wish I could take my head and put it in front of me and whip my hair out that way. Like, it's just easier to have somebody else do what you can't see. So that's always going to be my first bit of advice, is having a professional do your color for you. I would rather you take your chance with a professional than sit and be mad at yourself bald head. Like, that's just it. But as far as maintenance, once it's done, moisture is going to be the main thing, especially if you're using lightener and you go bright, you go blonde, any of these fluorescent colors, you need moisture. You honestly, with the fluorescent colors, like even with the tips of blue that I have in my hair, every other time that I deep condition, I go in and touch up with the semi-permanent color that I use for my hair. And if I'm not using that, it's like a color depositing conditioner. Like, I know at my job we have like these ones by Cara Color. I know Joico used to have some really good ones. I think they discontinued it, which I'm really upset about. But they have some good ones. And there's a couple brands out here that have like coloring conditioners that have the actual color in the conditioner. So when you condition your hair, it actually deposits color into the hair as well as add moisture. Of course, using a sulfate-free shampoo and conditioner that helps to aid in protecting the color. Y'all gonna hear this a lot as I start to do this. Joico is probably one of my favorite color protecting shampoos and conditioners. Honestly, a lot of stuff by Joico in general. Like, I really like their line. See, I like the stuff by Chi too, but I have to kind of, if anything, do more research, because what I use from them isn't necessarily color protecting or anything like that, but I don't see that it strips my color or anything like that. Like, I just have to see if they have one specific for color. I think at my job, we always tell people, you know, going with any of the lines, like whether you want a specific brand or salon brand or anything like that, anything that's going to be protecting your color, as far as like the shampooing and conditioning, that it's sulfate free, so it's not stripping everything out of your hair. adding moisture so it keeps the hair soft and manageable and not hard and brittle, especially if you go on to any of these super light platinum blonde colors. You need moisture if you're going that high. I know, I will show you, I've been super blonde before. I haven't even went to the lightest that I can go, and I know even where I went, I still needed to moisturize and stuff like that, because it's hard to maintain if you don't. It's just that way. Shift gears a little bit. The next question is about growing brows and care and stuff like that. I will do a video on brows as well. Obviously, I was trained to do eyebrows as a part of like my license. So of course I know how to do and maintain brows in general, but I know there are some things that people can do at home to maintenance. If they go to a professional, there's some things that you can do to maintenance in between as well, especially if yours grow like mine do, where you have to do something to them every 2 weeks. I literally did my eyebrows a week and a half ago, and I know I'm about to go in and have to do them again because the hairs under like my arch and stuff like that, it grows so fast. The middle grows so. I am a every 2 week eyebrow person. I am just that person. As far as growth, mine's naturally have always been thick. They grow very quickly, but I know that there are some serums that I know people have tried that actually work for brow and lash growth. I know a brand, Rapid Lash and Rapid Brow, they are both serums that these are two separate serums that you put on your lash or on your brow to help stimulate brow growth, stuff like that. I know that I have seen a couple people say that using aloe vera, like pure, cut it out of the plant aloe vera, helps with brow and lash growth as well. I believe, and I actually tried this for somebody before, there's this serum called Babe Lash that I put on my lashes just to see how it worked, so that I could tell them if it was a good buy for them or not, because Babe Lash is kind of expensive. And it worked. It almost worked too well, because every time I put mascara on, it touched my glasses. But I saw and kind of watched some videos on it too, where there were people that actually put that on their brows too, and it worked really well. It's just a matter of how it works with you specifically. That's something that's definitely a trial and error type thing. Oh, this is a good one. It says, you got married young. Were there any doubts? For myself, no. My husband has told me no. We both knew what we wanted when we wanted it. And so we just did it. I'm definitely a headstrong person. He is a person that always knows what he wants. We both knew what we wanted. If anything, I don't say that I have any regrets. Being more mature now, know that I probably should have taken more steps to prepare myself for what marriage had to offer. Only because I feel like it would have helped me with the obstacles that we endured. We probably wouldn't have had so many obstacles I can ask him separately if he feels this way, but I know on my end, even the stuff simple like marriage counseling, stuff like that, because we didn't do any of that stuff. I feel like even if I would have done those marriage counseling sessions and stuff like that, we would have had less obstacles to encounter once we got into our marriage. Because those are things that obviously once we ran into those bumps, we had to do what we had to do to work it out. I just wish that I would have better prepared myself, even to be better for him. Because like I said, there were things that I had to change within myself in order to be better as a person in general, and then as a wife. And like I said, I can ask him how he feels. I know I probably know what he's gonna say, but I can still ask him. What is my zodiac sign? I am a Leo. I am a Leo at heart. Through literally runs in my veins, through my blood. I am a Leo. You can ask my husband. You can ask my mother. I am definitely a Leo. I love it, but I know I am a Leo. My favorite perfume. So again, I'm very simple. My number one go-to has always been Light Blue by Dolce & Gabbana. Ever since I've been introduced to it, I absolutely love that fragrance. I will wear it all day, every day, literally until I got introduced to my other favorite, which is Versace Eros. Shout out to Jess, because she's the one that introduced me to that one. I love Eros. Those are probably the only two that I wear. There's other ones that I like that smell good, but I'm like, if I want to smell something all day, it's probably just going to be these two. I probably should learn to expand, but I like what I like. What type of music do I listen to? I'm laughing because anybody that knows me, I feel like my youngest sister is almost annoyed by it. I listen to a little bit of everything. She will listen to some stuff with me and then be looking at me like, what are you listening to? When I listen to certain stuff, my husband knows my playlist is all over the place. If anybody follow me on Apple Music, you'll never know what is coming up next if you watch what I'm listening to. I know how it shows like, oh, what your friends are listening to and stuff like that. Like if it ever puts it into a list for you and you look at what the last whatever amount of songs I've listened to, you probably like, what the heck? Like, what list is this? Again, I like what I like. We were in the store today and Thank God I Found You by Mariah Carey, 98 Degrees, and Joe came on. We couldn't leave until the song was over because I wanted to hear it. And then I'll get in the car and listen to Waka Flocka. Like, we was just listening to T.I.'s new song today. And then I'll turn around and listen to Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood. Like, I'm literally all over the place. I will listen to that old song. That old song by Iman. I'm not gonna say the title because I don't want to start my YouTube off that way. If y'all know what hashtag if you know, you know. I will listen to something like that and then turn around and be listening to Beyonce. Anything that catches my ear probably will end up on my playlist. Okay, 2 more questions. How many brothers and sisters do I have? I have 5 sisters and 3 brothers, and this is between my mother and my stepfather, and then my father and my stepmother. My mother and my stepfather account for 5, and then my father and my stepmother count for 3. Okay, last question. What made you start doing hair? My professional hair journey started with me being in middle school, being frustrated as all get out about not being able to do French braids. My mom must have told me a story where she was French braiding somebody's hair at like 7, 8 years old, and you know, all of a sudden I realized I had never tried to French braid. And child, when I tell you, I could not French braid to save my life. And I used to get frustrated. I remember one time I cried about not being able to French braid. And I used to practice and practice and practice and could not get it. And then one time I did it and it's like the concept just kind of clicked. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I think I can French braid. And so I started to French braid my mom's hair, practicing and stuff. And my mom is a really funny person. When I started to braid her hair, she would always tell me my tension was off, like I was grabbing wrong. And I didn't understand what she meant for the longest time. And then of course it turned into, well, it's tight here and it's loose here. And shout out to my mom, because she used to rock them little crazy French braids I would put in her hair. And she would go to work and be like, I'm rocking it because my baby did it. They were trash. But I think that it turned into, when I got to high school, doing my friend's hair, like braiding micro braids back in the day. Lord, I don't know why I had so much patience to do that. Even now, I'm just like, you want me to do what? And that's with box braids. So I'm just like, I don't know how I had the patience to do anybody's micros, let alone my own. I used to do my own micro braids all the time. You'll just see the pictures. But I used to do micros all the time. And then, and my mom said it, she told me, and I should have listened. She told me, you should go to school for hair first before you go to a university. I didn't listen. I went to UWM first. And then 2 years later, I went to cosmetology school. Graduated from cosmetology school, literally jumped right into the salon, and then instantly began to love what I was doing. I don't practice now, but the interest is still there, because there's so much to learn when it comes to hair. There's so many things to keep up with, so many trends obviously that come in and go out and come back and stuff like that. It stays interesting. I think that's it for now. I am going to start working on hair content. Like, comment, and subscribe. I think we are done. I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.